Google was just one of the big tech companies grilled during yesterday's much anticipated congressional hearing. Apple, Amazon, and Facebook also faced blistering questions over their policies when it came to content and competition. Our tech editor, Dan Howley, watched the whole thing, and he joins us now. Dan, Apple CEO Tim Cook, he received a less number of questions compared to the other tech executives. You think Apple is one of the biggest winners from yesterday?
At the outset, it seemed as though they were. I think they did exceptionally well, only because they weren't hammered with as many questions. Tim Cook held up pretty well in the first round of questioning, in the second round of questioning about the App Store. But then Representative Neguse came up and said that Apple, essentially doesn't apply its rules fairly to the App Store. Now, the big thing about the App Store is they charge a 30% commission. They also provide apps that compete with other apps in the store, and Apple obviously doesn't have to pay a 30% commission for apps that it owns that are downloaded through the App Store. Now, the issue here that Neguse brought up was Apple doesn't let third-party app developers publish apps that are copycats of other apps that exist in the App Store already. But according to Apple's terms and services, they are allowed to copy the functionality of apps that third parties submit. So that kind of caught Tim Cook off guard. And you could tell that that was something that they weren't prepared for or weren't expecting to come up at all. And so it really was kind of a gotcha moment, not necessarily in a negative light for Representative Neguse, but really kind of got to the crux of the argument for Apple. And then following the actual hearing, there were documents posted from the evidence that Apple had to submit, in which it shows Apple had negotiated a lesser commission for Amazon's own Prime TV app. So they get 15% cuts of people that sign up for Prime Video. That would normally be 30% because that's just their normal sign-up fee for a one-time sign-up. So I think it's going to be difficult for Apple to square the fact that they say that everyone is treated equal in the App Store when, in fact, that doesn't appear to be the case.
And Dan, what was your take on Jeff Bezos' debut before lawmakers? It took them quite the time to ask him a question. And then when they did, he made that admission that Amazon may use data from third-party sellers to make business decisions. Were you surprised that he admitted that?
I was. Look, I think it's nice to see to a degree that kind of candor, but it also gets to the crux of the argument against Amazon that they would abuse the data that they have on third-party sellers to then turn around and create competing products that can push those smaller companies out of business. And the representatives had brought up several instances in which that had occurred to sellers. They said that they had heard heartbreaking testimony about how Amazon had essentially crushed their businesses and just destroyed them, for lack of a better term. I think they came out, Amazon, the poorest in this hearing just because of all of the evidence that they had against them and Jeff Bezos' lack of any kind of offering of information outside of that one admission that they can't guarantee that they don't use third-party data. There was a lot of, we'll have my office get back to you, I'll get back to your office. We'll talk about this when we have more information. We're looking into this. So they really, I think, came out looking the worst. It also didn't help that while others were being giving their testimony, Bezos on the side was popping some food in his mouth. Mark Zuckerberg did the exact same thing. I get that it's a long hearing, but I didn't see many members of Congress doing that, and I didn't see any of the other panelists, Pichai or Cook, doing that. So not a good look on their part there.
Hey, Dan, even billionaires have to eat. Not everybody could be fasting like Jack Dorsey over there at Twitter.
Yeah.
All right, Dan Howley, thanks so much. Get some rest, Dan. Get some rest. We'll talk to you soon.